Crafted comedy
by Great Wolf.
It's the talk of people in the know. Welcome to the G-Block Show.
And now, let's listen into G-Block Show.
I'm sorry, but I can't see how you can possibly say that the people that play soccer don't, they're no good. They probably wouldn't be able to play at anything else. I mean, that's what you imply.
Well, for me, I see it the same way Sulty does. That net looks as wide as it's like, talk about wide open spaces. They ought to just call that net Montana.
But it's a game primarily of defense. Have you watched a soccer game?
Yep, I've watched it because I'm puzzled by the whole thing. Can't believe it's so popular. I can't believe how many people are into it.
Well, it's popular because, it's exciting and it's a high energy. I mean, it's just...
Yeah, but then again, so is basketball. And look at that. Now, compare and contrast, as the Sulty always says.
Yeah, that's right. Compare and contrast.
Yeah. Now, you think about a basketball. That basketball there, it just barely fits through the hoop. Am I right?
Brother, yes, you're right. It's probably, yes. It's
Now think of that ball, and now think of a soccer ball. About the same size, aren't they?
Yes, they are very close to the same size.
Yep, you could probably use a soccer ball to play basketball, and you could probably use a basketball to play soccer if you had to.
Oh, brother.
Now, okay, so it's right there in front of your eyes. It's right there for anybody to see with their own eyes. Same situation. You got guys on defense and guys playing offense. And they're trying to get that ball through into the net. Same thing in every respect. But with basketball, they can get that ball through that net, through that same space. I grant you, there isn't like a person standing right up at the net, to block the ball. But there's people trying to block the ball every which way. And still, look at how many shots are scored. I mean, there must be in a pro basketball game, they get off like 50 shots easy, right? I mean, come on. Soccer, you're just lucky if you get two. Some games you're lucky if you get one. Just one of those little balls smaller than a basketball in a net that's, gosh, it's just huge. What would you say? They must be 40 feet wide, thereabouts. And it looks like they're roughly 10 feet or so high, maybe more. And there's this little guy in there. This guy trying to defend this net, which right on its face looks ridiculous.
Yeah, that's my point. That is exactly right. I mean, just if you do nothing, just stop right there. Look at that net and look at that guy in there. Okay, and then here comes this little ball. There's no way just think about like hockey or anything like that. Just think about look at a huge hockey player. Sometimes these guys are like 6'7". Yeah, they're just mammoth. They got all this gear on them, and they're trying to stop something that's a lot smaller, a little puck. But still, I've seen some of those guys that can practically, by the time they swing their arms around here and there, and they've got their legs and all different contorted. These guys are amazing. These hockey goalie guys, they can stop the puck. Not always, but you can see where they pretty much take up the whole damn net. And the hockey puck still gets through, and in a lot of games each side will score 3-4 points. That seems like on average. But in soccer, you look at the field and you see them coming trucking down with the soccer ball, and you see that net, and you think, my God, it seems like you could drive like 4 or 5 semis through the thing. It's just humongous. and there's a little guy standing there, and by the time the ball gets kind of close to the net, they're playing around, kicking, and they hit it with their head, and sometimes they do what do they call it, the bicycle, where they do this, like they flip on the ground and they kick it. That is impressive. But the bottom line is they should be scoring like at least 40 or 50 points each side a game when you've got that big of a target you can get through. It's the little guy that's in there, he might as well go home. I mean, if you've seen it, I've watched it many times because I'm just baffled by it. The guy there's just no way. The little guy, he can jump and he does all this, and it's just pure luck. It's just pure luck if he actually stops the damn ball. And then 9 times out of 10, it's like, well, he stops it. They just kind of pushes it back out to play, and wham, guy can kick it in. And still, at the end of the day, it's like, oh, the score was 1-2. Maybe I quit watching too soon, but it's like almost through the whole damn game, it's 0-0. I just can't believe I know what you're saying. I get what you're saying, but I don't think it's nearly what you're... Okay, fine. Right now, I know Bert and I are risking making a lot of people upset with saying this. But these guys just don't have much skill if they can't get the damn ball through this gigantic, humongous net. And you think about it, like what Bert said, look at how many times they can get this ball that barely fits through, like the basketball net. That ball just barely clears. And one after the other. You're watching basketball, it's just nothing. But shoot, swish. It's like it's kind of boring because, that's all they do. They get one side gets the ball, here they come, trucking up, they get a basket. Then the next side gets the ball, they come trucking up, they get the basket. Soccer, they're out there, okay, now they're playing around and they're, trying to, it's sort of like hockey. Very much like hockey is the way it appears to me, only they're not using sticks. Instead, they're using their feet and their knees and their elbows and I guess they can't use their hands. About the only thing they don't use is their hands, and they use their head. Well, if they'd really use their head, they might do a little bit better at getting that little ball through that gigantic net. It's just the first time I ever really looked at that net and saw that, look at the ball, look at the net, and I'm like, God, now this is a game where they're probably going to get like 1,000 points a game each side. So how, this little guy, how's he going to stop it? No.
Yeah, it's just the opposite. I agree with you, Sulty. I don't get it. Maybe if they got some of these basketball players out there, they might do a better job. Maybe it's because they can't use their hands. Maybe with their feet and their head, but all in all, no matter how you slice it, it is just confounding. Why the hell soccer game? And they got all these minutes. It's a big field, and I get it, these guys work their tails off. But once you finally get down there near that gigantic net, that you can probably catch 2 or 3 whales in. Oh, no, they just can't do it at the end of this game. I've seen it on the news. It's like, finally, at the last minute, that one team got the ball in that big old net. Took them all those minutes just to score 1 point. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying these guys aren't super athletic. Obviously, you'd have to be physically in amazing condition to go up and down the field like they do. It's a huge field. But at the end of the day, the results are just not that impressive. They're just not. It's just, oh, God. Yeah. Okay, fine. I really do hope that you don't upset the whole bloody world with this, because everybody on the planet, almost everybody on the planet just loves soccer. Well, there's nothing wrong. Yeah, it's fine to love soccer. It's fine. I'm good for them. And I know it's a bit of national pride to these countries because that's the only game that apparently they know how to play. Like we're saying, just on the face of it, it just appears you got this little ball, this little man, and this just gigantic open net. Maybe if I played, I'd get it, but it's just confounding.
Okay, fine, fair enough. Fair enough. I do hope you don't upset. I mean, you're liable to cause, with this kind of talk, you're liable to cause World War III if this gets out. Oh, yeah, I'm not worried about it. You know what? The way things are going, it'd probably be nice just to get it the hell over with. I mean, seriously. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and let's end today's show. And just remember, always just as simple as can be, just go out, be kind to one another, and love one another, as much as possible. Now, we'll catch you back here next time on the G-Block Show.
You've been enjoying another episode of the G-Block Show, and we hope you're telling your friends about the G-Block Show. If you have feedback or suggestions or would like to be a G-Block Show sponsor, please contact us at gblockshow.com. Hey, for the price of a fancy store-bought card, I will make you an online video card. An invitation, greeting, birthday wish, get well, congratulations, anything, and perhaps more than what you'd buy a traditional boring card for. I can make it for you. It's great because it's online and it can be shared or sent to anyone and everyone. No postage needed. And I'm sure you'll agree that I'm way more entertaining and lovable than any paper card. And not to mention I'm a celebrity. Oh, it's so easy. All you have to do is go to www.gblockshow.com. And that's all one word, G-Block-Show, and then, of course, a little .com. I'm very salty, and I can't wait to hear from you. Well, I can, but I'd rather not.